Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Choppin' It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey, listen, a lot of action last night in the NBA, and in fact, there was some good action, some good games, and there was 10 games in the NBA last night. Probably not going to get to them all, but there's a few that I will talk about, and then I want to talk about LeBron's comments. Okay. Well, let's get started. It was a game of a battle of the 8th and 9th seeds out west, and a very important game. Sacramento, who's been winning of lately, who snuck into the 8th spot as Portland was dipping down, suffering with a couple of losses. They went into Portland to play the Portland Trailblazers, and the Portland Trailblazers used a balanced attack to beat Sacramento by scoring 102-89. Now, what's so significant about that is that if these two teams should continue at the pace that they're on, there's a chance that a tiebreaker might determine who gets the eighth seed. And Portland having this win, I believe, gives them the edge thus far. Although I believe they may be trailing Sacramento in the standing, or they could be even. So look out for that battle. You still have Denver sandwiched in there, but look out for that battle. All right. The Clippers get Chris Paul back. He appeared to play well, but they were on the road, and there was no match for the Pelicans last night. Anthony Davis continues his assault and his improvement on the league. This is a guy that the sky is the limit for this guy. I believe two things he needs is probably veteran presence, but more so, all he has to do is stay healthy. And hopefully the New England Brass, the management team, could either draft right or acquire some players, whether it's free agency through trade, to help this guy out. Because if he can ever get a team around him, the sky's the limit of what this guy can do. His ability to run the floor is like no other. His jump shot is improving with distance. He's athletic. He has a few little ball handling skills. He just needs help. Really, he needs help. Either he needs a wing person that could be automatic, or a two guard that's going to be automatic for him. He needs someone like a Jimmy Butler, a DeRozan, a Klay Thompson. He needs someone of that category. Bradley Beal, he needs someone that can help him with an inside-out presence, because it's just all him. It really is. And Tyreke Evans is a phenomenal talent, but he's always injured. Drew Holiday is a phenomenal talent, but he's always injured. He needs a steady force. Eric Gordon was injured when he was there. Ryan Anderson never really shined like they thought he would. He just needs somebody to play. Maybe a Paul George will help out. I'm not the biggest Paul George fan. By the way, they lost again to the Wizards last night. I'm not the biggest Paul George fan. I think Paul George is a star in this league, but I don't think he's a superstar. And a lot of pundits out there want to elevate this guy to superstar status, like he's an elite player. I recognize he has the talent, but I just don't find him to be that player. But he could be helpful with an Anthony Davis. He really could. Anthony Davis needs a Robin in the worst way. He really needs a Robin. Otherwise, he's going to endure some losing seasons, and maybe 1 out of 4 seasons he'll get to the playoffs. He had an opportunity to go to the playoffs a couple seasons ago. Haven't gotten close to it since. So Anthony Davis and the Pelicans hold fort, and they knock off the Clippers 102-98. Game was pretty close game. In fact, Pelicans was losing when the third quarter tipped off. They were down by 1, so what a game. Good win for them. Maybe that's a confidence booster, and maybe they'll go on and have some winning ways. The Nuggets, they continue their attempt to get into the 8th spot with a nail biter over there against the Timberwolves last night. So that that 8th seed out west, it may come down to the end of the season between Sacramento, Portland, and Denver. And I would not be surprised if the Lakers find their form and get back into it. I would not be surprised. But right now, it comes down to those three. And I'm hoping Sacramento gets in. I really do. I hope Sacramento gets in. I think with all the controversy that surrounds DeMarcus Cousins, and one thing we know, he's a load of a talent. But I think he needs this on his resume. I think it would be a maturity builder, and and maybe it will help with attracting free agents. So something to look out there, but I am rooting for Sacramento to get that last spot. Now, right here in my backyard, and I'm going to have to deal with this today as I go to work. The Knicks came down to the Hawks, Phillips Arena. What a game it was. It had playoff intensity. It had playoff intensity from the old days. It was just a great, ugly-looking game. Nobody could seem to shoot it in the river. You had a couple of star players that stood out. Schroeder and Derrick Rose was going at it. I think the difference between the two of them was that Coach Bud for Atlanta found some rest for Schroeder, where with Carmelo getting tossed, and we'll talk about that, Jeff Hornacek wasn't able to find too much rest for Derrick Rose, and I think the fresher legs prevailed down the stretch. As Schroeder, he finished with 27 points. He had a great game, don't get me wrong. Quite a few assists. Derrick Rose, he finished with 25. But a couple of key moments towards the end of the game, you can see with fatigue probably was sinking in on Derrick Rose. But those two was going at it. Then you had Howard, who was just a monster in the paint. Quite a few offensive rebounds. He finished the game with 16 points, 22 rebounds. But, you know, although he was impressive and probably was the player of the game, Joakim Noah wasn't too shabby of his own. He had 14 points and 16 rebounds. So there was a lot of matchups that, you know, it was worth the price of admission. Porzingis, you know, here's the thing about Porzingis. There's no doubt about his talent. There's no doubt about his game. There's no doubt about his progress and no doubt about how bright the future looks for him. He's not ready to lead the team. He's not ready to lead the team. To me, he's had moments where he could have came up big, not just in yesterday's game, but in prior games, that could have told me that maybe it's time to pass the torch to him. He may need another year. Flashback to the game going to Phoenix in overtime. He missed a crucial jump shot that could have won the game. Last night, on a big play, don't get me wrong, big play. He goes up for three. Cephaloshes fouls him. You know, Knicks are down by 3. He goes to the line. Yeah, it's only about, 3.6 seconds left. But if you're going to be the star or the future or now's the time, Carmelo's already out the game. This is your moment to say, New York, I am ready. He goes up there, and of all things, he misses the first free throw of 3 attempts. That is the last thing that you need to happen. And to me, you have to nail that, young man. You have to nail the first free throw. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whoever's out there listening, whenever you're on a free throw line, no matter what, you always have to hit the first free throw. Even if you need both of them or all of them, we can live with you missing the last one, which is an opportunity to rebound that and put it right back up. But you always have to make the first free throw. If you need to walk away from the line, if you need a timeout, you do what you need to do. But you have to nail the first free throw. As a result of it, he missed his first 3 free throws. He hits the second one, and then he puts up a god-awful failed attempt, missed shot for the third attempt, and then he tries to crash the boards, crosses the line too soon, and it was downhill from there. But in the absence of Carmelo, this team played very well. They hung in there. They had a chance to win the game, and that's what you're asking for when your leader or your star player is out. This is another one that I have to pin on Jeff Hornacek. Said you have to find time to rest these guys. You have to give them a breather somewhere in the game. You have to sacrifice a few minutes so that this way, when it's down the stretch, these guys is fresh. Is that the reason why they lost the game? Because this team might have been fresher legs? I'm not sure. But having fresher legs does help. Does help. Getting to Carmelo. This is the second time this season that Carmelo was ejected from a game. In this case here, it was a flagrant foul. Previously, it was in Boston. And both on the road and both losses. And I believe these are critical losses to Boston as well as to Atlanta. Atlanta is a team that on a bad losing streak, we could be battling them for the 8th spot. Just as simple as that. The Knicks are getting respect around the league, and they're not a bad team. They're not a bad team. Don't get me wrong. They should make the playoffs. However, they're not an automatic team. They're not a lot. And they need each and every game. And they cannot afford for their leader to suit up, come out ready to play, get 10 points in the first quarter, and then perform such a horrific act. Now, I don't think it was as malicious as perhaps it may have appeared, or as malicious as many want to make it. But Carmelo, there's no need for that. We're on the road. You're on the road. You're trying to win. You're trying to establish identity. The team has been struggling on the road. Atlanta, this could have been a winnable game. Now you go into New Orleans, that's a must-win game, and you have Houston to finish out the calendar year. Carmelo, if you didn't want to play, that's fine with me. Just call in sick. Ask for rest. But if you're going to suit up, we need you for the duration of the 48 minutes. Plain and simple. This here is unacceptable, Carmelo. And I said this before on this show. There's no bigger Melo fan than myself. But there's 2 games in a row now that you've disappointed not only your team, but the fans. Your defense was horrific in the Boston game, and now you pull this act. Uncalled for. Uncalled for. Absolutely unnecessary. I can understand that here in a moment, things happen. But you have to be careful. And you have to be more responsible for your actions. That was unacceptable. Your teammates needed you. You let them down. I can't bear witness to that. We need you for the duration of the game. It wasn't like it was chippy. They were coming after you. No. You got tangled up, little frustration, boom, you flung the arm up in the face. Unnecessary. And this was a game where the stars needed to play like stars when stars needed to be stars. And our star decided to play another sport, tempted to be a boxer. Unfortunately. Well, Lebron made headlines early this morning today, and quite frankly, it's going to be one of the few times that I simply agree with him. He says that he is not a fan of NBA's 2-minute report of the game, last 2-minute report of the game. And you know what? I agree with him. I'm not a fan of it either. If that's how you called it, don't tell me it was a mistake later. Because what you're telling me is that your referees is not 100%. You're telling me that your referees is not up to task. You're telling me that maybe we need better referees for the game. you're telling me that you want to apologize for an action later when it could have been resolved right there on the court. There's 3 referees out there. 3. This talks about a 4th one. At times, the referees is involved in the play. So how much space is going to be on the court for a 4th referee? And sometimes they still can't get it right because they got to go to the monitor. Do away with the 2-minute report. And also, do away with the instant replay. Why? Yeah, plays in the final 2 minutes are reviewable. Is that the only time that a game could be decided? What about 5 minutes into the first quarter? A misplay, bad call. It's not reviewable. What about something in the second quarter with 3 minutes in the second quarter? You're trying to tell me that point in the game is not as important as the final 2 minutes of the game? In a game that's lopsided by 18 points, and it's controversy, and under 2 minutes left in the game, even though the game is fully out of hand, you can go review that call. But a game that's highly contested at midway through the third quarter, and a bad call or a missed call could swing the momentum of any way, it's not reviewable. You know, I'm not a fan of instant replay in any sport. It is what it is. I think in all games, you're going to miss calls, you're going to make calls, you're going to get a chance, you're going to be, one team is going to be a beneficiary of a bad call or a missed call, and somewhere along the line during out that game, it's going to balance out. That's just my gut feel. But if you are going to have instant replay, I like how the NFL does it. They give you 2 opportunities to review this, that. Once you use them, that's it. Now, of course, they review touchdowns. They review turnovers. So you don't have to use them on those plays, which is good too. But if you felt that they missed a call or bad spot or whatever it might be, you have an opportunity to say, you know what? Oh, well, I like to see that in the NBA. Maybe give them 2 opportunities to use a replay so that this way it could be a moment in the game. It could be a moment in the game that's not just in the final 2 minutes. That could make a difference. So I'm in favor of that. So LeBron, I agree with you. Not a fan of the NBA 2-minute report. Hey, and here's the thing about that. Okay, so they said that LeBron should have been called a tech on Christmas Day for hanging on the rim. They said that, yes, Kevin Durant was fouled by Richard Jefferson. He was tripped. Okay, I understand that, and I get that. You came out and said it. Now, what happens to the game? Is it going to make a difference in the outcome of the game? No. So why bring it up? It's not like you're going to play the game over with. It's not like you're going to assess a point or 2 or say, you know what? Next time these guys meet, we have to finish the other game because there was a bad call. So why bring it up? There's no need for it. But listen, that's going to do it. I got to get myself ready for work. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And once again, hey, this is Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Listen, I'm going to see you guys in 24 hours. All right, y'all take care, man. Peace and blessings.
Chop.